Is it finally time to load up on all the different cruise ship companies? Because Saudi Arabia has bought an 8% stake in the world's biggest cruise line operator, Carnival, for a bargain basement price. This article right here is from the Financial Post, and today I'm sharing with you my thoughts and opinions on the cruise line industry and if it's time to load up on these stocks when they're completely broken down, or if it's still a hold, or if it's time to sell them and get out. I'm going to share with you just my opinion on this industry and share with you my thoughts about what's going to happen moving forward over the next 12, 16 to 24 months. As well, we're just going to get right started with what caused me to make this video, the fact that Saudi Arabia has bought an 8% stake in Carnival Cruise Line. Carnival Cruise Line stock was down 81% this year. Moving on to some of the key points from this buy is that Carnival Cruise Ship shares jumped after Saudi Arabia's public investment fund said it acquired 8.2% stake in the world's biggest cruise line operator. So what that is countries have a set fund where, as you and I would invest in different companies and assets, that's what this money is doing for the company. So instead of one individual person buying an asset, a country itself is buying an asset. So that's what Saudi Arabia did here. Their public investment fund purchased an 8% stake into Carnival Cruise Line. That money will come back into the country of Saudi Arabia and then be used for whatever the country decides to use it for. A lot of companies have a fund like this. The largest country with the biggest fund is actually Norway. Their fund is valued over $1 trillion. That's a little bit separate from the articles I've read about Saudi Arabia. Their public investment fund is about a value of around 400 million. So still a very 400 billion. I'm sorry, still a very significant amount. So Carnival stock surged as much as 18% to $10.04 in Monday in New York after the fund said in its filing that it holds 43.5 million shares of the cruise company. That stake was worth 370 million. So of course they are getting at a nice bargain price as the stock is down 81% this year. Of course, because what's going on in the world, this cruise line has had to shut down operations. It is not operating as it usually would, and it is going to be burning through and losing a lot of money moving forward. So now Saudi Arabia owns a decent slice, 8.2%, of one of the most dominant cruise ship operators in the world, that has over 100 ships and currently has no customers to sail on. And one thing I really liked this article says, at least for now, because who knows what's going to happen moving forward. That's what we're going to talk about today, is who knows what's going to happen 12, 16, 24 months in the future, because we don't know how long this pandemic is going to actually happen. We're really hoping that everything will get back to normal very soon. And of course, then we can move on and Carnival may begin to thrive once again. We may see their share price return to back where it was or continue to soar higher and higher. No one really knows for sure. So it says here that Carnival operations came to an almost complete stop last month. A series of different cases took over the cruise line and they had to shut it down. So today I'm just going to go over a little bit of the financials of Carnival Cruise Line and share my personal opinion on it. Because as of right now, I don't own any cruise line stocks in my own portfolio. I've stayed away from them just because of the uncertainty of what's going on. But another article here talking about the same concept about how Saudi Arabia purchased the 8% stake. This one's from Business Insider. One very key point, this talks about all the same things that I've mentioned already before. It talks about how Carnival has raised billions through debt and equity offerings in the past week as it tries to stay afloat while business is stopped. Moving on, there is one key point to this article that I really wanted to point out is right here. This quote right here. Cruise lines, as evidenced by the stocks, are in a world of hurt right now, with an unclear light at the end of the tunnel. So with this being said, is because of all the uncertainty with what's going on in the world, no one knows when this is going to end. They don't know, is it going to end in 6 months or 12 months? They don't know if this company is going to go bankrupt or what is going to happen. So people are really concerned and there's no clear ending. Like we don't have any projections of what's going to happen moving forward. So with regard if it's time to buy CCL, if we move over to their financials, they're currently trading at $11.78. Up 4.2% on the day. I am recording this during a live trading day. And if we move over to their quarterly financials, so as you see, this is their income statement, revenues, everything like that. But one key point here I want to point out is right here. So this is for Q1 or for month ended February 2020. They've lost $781 million in that 3-month period. And what's crazy about that is that That is just the beginning of the shutdown. Then over the next quarter and the quarter after that, quarters 2 and 3 in 2020, this number should immensely grow because they'll have absolutely no operations. They were still operating at the beginning of these 3 months. So what I'm seeing here is that this company is going to burn through a lot of cash. It's going to lose a lot of money, and it's really uncertain when the bleeding is going to stop. So of course, people have to wonder. You want to buy stocks when they're low, and you want to, of course, what the great Warren Buffett says: buy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. You don't really want to panic during these situations because if you believe in this company long term, they may rebound. But for me, I don't own this company because I am uncertain. If we move over to the price of the shares, you can see here on the 6-month chart, just let's find the high point. If we go down, you can see at the lowest point, it was down around 84-85%, just like the article states. But what's very interesting is because of this purchase and a lot of other things within the market, the price has actually shot up over the past week. So if I go to the 5-day chart, it was trading 5 days ago on April 2nd at $8 a share. Moving up here to today's value, up 47% on the 5-day chart. So whoever bought at the low has made a lot of money so far if they choose to sell. But does this really show a recovery in the stock price? Do we really think we're going to see stock price reach another, like where the highs were about a year ago, around $50 a share? I don't know. In my personal opinion, if I were to guess and give my just straight up guess, because of course no one knows exactly what the market's going to do, I'm going to guess not. I'm going to guess because of everything that's going on in the world that they aren't going to reach that level very soon. A lot of people see this as a great buying opportunity. They really believe in the cruise line moving forward, and they really believe that in 3 to 5 years, everyone's going to be back on cruise. It's going to be back to normal, and they're going to be laughing when they bought in at $11.86 a share, and the prices do recover to $50, $60, $70 a share. As of right now, I cannot give my personal opinion on whether to buy or hold. I don't ever make recommendations because that's not who I am. I'm not a qualified financial advisor. But in my personal opinion and for entertainment purposes only, I will be staying away from these cruise line stocks as of right now. Maybe moving forward, if we start to see the light at the end of the tunnel where we start to see an ending to what's going on in the world and we start to know when these companies could be coming back and could be operating once again and getting people on the boats, shipping them around the world, giving out all these deals and getting people consumers more comfortable with going back on cruises, then I may enter a position moving forward. And of course, if I choose to do so, you will of course see it on this channel because I share with you all the different buys I make in my portfolio. But I'm not jumping in yet. I never try to time the market, and I'm not too worried about hitting it at the very bottom, where a lot of people do. They try to wait in time for the very bottom of either the V or the U-shaped recovery. I'm not too worried about that. If I can buy a strong company that's going to continue to operate very well, and if I buy it not at the very bottom, but if I buy it when it's already trending upwards, I have no problem with that. I'm not trying to do 20 bangers, 30 bangers on every single stock I own. I would really like strong, sustainable companies that are increasing, that 7 to 10% year over year over the next 10, 20 years, and that would make me very happy over the long term. So of course we can't talk about Carnival without talking about their competitors. So if we move over here to Norwegian, similar chart, as you can see, their stock was trading around $55 to $58 a share. If we go here, the peak in January, and we move it down to where it is now, exact same situation as Carnival. Down 87%. Yep, lows around 87% on the 6-month chart. But once again, if we move over to the 5-day chart, the stock price has been soaring. What do we have here? Up 25% in the 5-day chart, but at the peak in the last 5 days, it was up 38%. So these cruise line stocks are really getting up. People are buying in. People may have believed it's hit the bottom. I don't know. Of course, we don't know everything that's causing these price swings. But what might happen, if I were to guess, is that people saw the Saudi Arabia buy into Carnival. They saw that it hit such a low point at $8 a share for Carnival, for example, that they might thought this is the bottom. And as people started loading up at the bottom, it might have led to a sharper increase in price. Of course, that is just my hypothetical opinion. I'm not too sure. Let whatever you think happen, let me know in the comments below. And of course, another major cruise line that we have talked about, Royal Caribbean. Of course, their stock was trading at a much higher price, around $120 a share. If I pick a high point here, same day as before, January 17th, 2020, the lowest point, exact same as their competitors, down around 83 to 85% at the all-time lows. But once again, when we move to the 5-day chart, as you can see here, today alone it's up 4.65%. On the 5-day chart, it is up 38%, with a peak in the last 5 days up 52% in 5 days. So of course, to recover off an 85% drop, it's going to take a couple 100% increase in share appreciation. But what matters is that these past 5 days have been very interesting. You believe in these cruise lines long term, if you really believe in companies like Carnival, who are, as you can see here, the largest cruise line operator in the world, if you do believe they're going to recover, then it might be a great time to buy. You might be able to buy these solid companies at a lower price, and maybe if you want to do a couple swing trades, you may be able to get in if these companies can sustain like this little short recovery over the next 5 days or whatever. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen. As of right now, I'm just going to hold out on these cruise lines, but I really appreciate you tuning in and hearing my thoughts. I look forward to catching you in the next video. These are my thoughts on what the cruise line industry is going to do moving forward, and I really do appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, and see you next time.